morning and welcome to Muddy River Mornings. I'm Bob Gough.
And I'm Brittany Boll.
Welcome.
Hi.
After a week of intense negotiations and a contract that wasn't signed until 7 seconds before this started, Brittany is now my co-host.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
So,
wait, we have contracts?
Just you. You're the only person in the building that's got a contract.
Okay.
So, congratulations. So, it's because you're special.
Okay.
And I mean that in a nice way.
Yeah.
So, but the only reason she took this gig is so she could get crazy cakes every week.
Exactly. The biggest thing is the bacon there to me, is my jam. I will go...
Hold that up for the camera. That says Bee's Purse Bacon.
Yes. They know me.
Explain what purse bacon is.
They know me all too well. I ordered 2 orders of bacon. One for me there and then one for my purse. Yes. And I'm not feeding my purse the bacon.
No.
I'm just saving it for later.
Mm-hmm.
And they're... So yeah, I probably walk around smelling like bacon and...
There are worse things to smell like.
Yeah, there are. So I'm every dog's best friend. Brian doesn't understand. He goes, how do your dogs not tear up your purse? Even with
better.
Even with a residual smell
Sure.
of this. I mean, this bacon is that's mine.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
I want you how.
Okay, let me.
It is very crisp.
It is very crisp, thick.
She can't help it. She's gonna have to have a bite.
Probably.
Look at this.
Gosh, sorry for all that. Look at that. That's like perfect bacon.
It is perfect bacon.
Yep.
See? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it wasn't my company. It wasn't my winning personality. It was the bacon.
Yes.
That's why she's here.
Yep.
Notice how quickly she agreed. So.
You're welcome.
Anyway, but we also have goodies, sweet treats here. So we got some bacon stuck in this muffin.
That is their French toast muffin.
Oh,
yeah.
Looks good.
And I believe this is a mini French toast muffin.
Muffin.
And then, of course, we have their coffee.
Mm-hmm. Yep, in there. Now, remember, you can get your coffee refilled with these for like $1.50. I mean, it's a great deal.
Yeah.
And it's great coffee, too.
It really is.
So cheers.
Cheers.
To your first show.
To the first show. It
It
might be a rocky one. I hope you enjoy.
Might be your last, too. So, no, I'm just kidding. So, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Number one, the biggest thing I think that came out this week were 2 things. Number one, my interview with Daryl Hentz, the former QHS softball coach. I mean, I know we've talked about it a lot.
Speaking of contracts.
Yeah, no kidding, right? So we've talked about that ad nauseum. My interview with him, about 45 minutes long. And I wrote an opinion piece that you can read that we dropped yesterday here on Muddy River News. So, and I know Brittany and Ashley have been very involved in the discussions on that as well. So
yeah. I mean, again, I'd like to stay out of it. I'm not trying to get in any trouble.
No.
Hey, what's ad nauseum mean? Does that mean
on and on and on and on?
Does it mean till you're nauseous though? Is that where it comes from?
I think that might be part of it. It's like when I sit here and you're talking and I have to listen for a long time, that would be ad nauseum.
Yes, okay.
So I hope that explains it.
Wow.
So we also, along with that, David Adam covered the Aeronautics Committee meeting and the confusion, everything. Okay, all the shakeups that's going on in the federal government are hitting Quincy because we're supposed to be getting a new airline. But because of all the shakeups at the FAA, they put that on hold. So we're still going to have Southern Airways for a while. We're supposed to get a new one coming in. And basically the Aeronautics Committee, Mayor Trope, and also Bill Lance, the airport director, both basically said, hey, as long as the federal government's kind of up in turmoil, we don't know what's going to happen. And So
are they still going to be actually running?
Well, for as much as they have been running, I mean, Southern had less than 200 flights last month.
Okay.
So, or 200 passengers, I should say, not flights, passengers, and that is not a sustainable number.
No.
For sure. So, so we're going to be following that story as well. And also, you want to quickly talk about a new feature you're doing regarding our streets?
Yes, of course. Okay, so as everyone knows, we always all talk about the potholes of Quincy. It's kind of being brought up lately in the news. I think especially with the election, people are speaking about it. So we decided at Muddy River News, and we decided long before the election, that we were going to feature this feature. We were just looking for the right sponsor, and luckily we have found it. Delta Tire has provided us with the opportunity to give you the opportunity to submit your pothole of the month. So I know we have a lot of the months, but I think this one might top, they might, top the entries, if you will, because we have a lot of them.
Yeah.
So basically how this is going to work is you're going to submit your pothole of the month entries under our Facebook post. Once you see that post on there, we're going to do that twice a month, and the winner receives a free alignment from Delta Tire. That's a pretty big deal.
Which you need after hitting one of those potholes.
Exactly. So go ahead and look forward to that article this week, and it explains it a little bit more in depth, and then that's going to be your opportunity to submit your pictures for the potholes.
And you adopted a pothole for the first one just so we could show people, right?
Yes. So I have seen those
pictures. Have you named it?
My plant?
The pothole.
Oh, no. But I went and got a plant to put in the potholes to photograph because I saw that online. And I thought that was kind of funny and cool. And it's not flower season right now, so I got something. I don't even know what it is. It's like a spiky guy, and she was not, or girl, I don't know. She was not happy with me after I placed her in pothole after pothole after pothole trying to get the perfect picture. But now she's home, and she's in a warm, lovely space by the sun, away from all those potholes and away from the clearance rack.
Spiky guy. Botany Boll with the plant report. So anyway, no, it's pothole of the month. Want to thank Dave and the gang out at Delta Tire for helping us out with that as well. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll have our medical minute, also hear from our friends at V&R Accounting, and we'll be back right after this.
Hello, I am Maddie McCartney, Miss Quincy 2025. I am also the granddaughter of two amazing grandfathers. Besides having me in common, these men both live with heart disease. One needed stents and the other had open heart surgery. In honor of our loved ones, join me in these steps to manage heart disease risk. Choose healthy food and drinks. That means a high-fiber, low-fat diet that limits salt, sugar, and alcohol. Doing that helps manage blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes risk, and maintains a healthy weight. Talk to your healthcare provider about exercises that is safe for you. Don't smoke, or if you do, work on quitting. And take charge of medical conditions by seeing your healthcare provider regularly and taking any medications as prescribed. For more information, go to the website on your screen. Your heart health is important to you and to those who love you.
Women are exceptional. In the workplace, in the home, in the community, we fill so many roles vital not only to our success, but also the success of those around us. We deserve health care that is as exceptional as we are. Blessing Health meets the varied needs of every woman, from OB/GYN care and breast health to pediatrics for those of us who have little ones in our life. Blessing Health, with you every step of the way.
Since 1985, Hess Auto Agency has been your trusted source for pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area. Families have experienced the Hess difference for generations and know they'll get the best vehicle buying experience in our region. With an ever-changing inventory, you'll find the right car at the right price. So when you want the best, don't guess. Choose Hess. Hess Auto Agency, 1124 North 24th in Quincy.
Tax season is here, and protecting your identity has never been more important. That's why the IRS is making it easier for everyone to secure their tax filings with the new Identity Protection PIN, or IP PIN. Here's the big news. In the past, only certain taxpayers were eligible for an IP PIN, but now the IRS has opened the program to everyone. You can opt in for an IP PIN to add an extra layer of security to your tax return. So what is an IP PIN? It's a unique 6-digit number that only you and the IRS know. When you file your taxes, this PIN ensures that no one can submit a fraudulent return in your name. Think of it as a security code for your tax information. In addition, starting for the filing season of 2024 returns, taxpayers who have an IP PIN and file a return with a dependent that someone else may have already claimed as a dependent, you will still be able to file electronically and claim that dependent. In the past, this return would have been rejected and you would have had to file by paper. Getting your IP PIN is quick and easy. Just visit irs.gov and use the Get an IP PIN tool to apply. You'll need to verify your identity, and once you're set up, you'll get a new IP PIN every year to keep your information secure. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect yourself from identity theft and tax fraud by opting in for an IRS IP PIN today.
Welcome back. I want to thank our friends of E&R Accounting for the tax tips. Got your taxes done?
Yes, I don't want to even talk about it. How about you?
God, no. No. Midnight on April 15th. That's when those babies get filed now. Yeah. Gone were the days when when we had dependents and deductions, and I mean we still got the mortgage deduction, but yeah, all the kids are no, it's just
My dependents don't add up anymore, so
yeah, no kidding.
It's a new world.
Adopt. You should just adopt. There you go. How's that? I'm just kidding. So the weather, it's been a little brisk lately.
Yes, but I hear we're on a warm up.
All right. How's the weather up there from our friends at Farm and Home Supply?
Speaking of wind,
Yes,
how
sir.
do you know when the wind has cleaned your house?
It's cleaned your house when a tornado comes through?
Yeah, it looks a little windswept. I'm spaghettiologist Nathaniel Jones. This is meteorologist Brent Clare.
Spaghetti. Yum, yum, yum.
This is how's the weather up there? It's windy today, Brent, and yesterday and the day before. Do you think the wind's going to die down?
Well, eventually we're going to die down, but you just remember, there's some old kid's song about being windy in March or something like that. Well, come in like a lion out by a lamb. We can say that too. But this is your typical March weather when we have the air masses starting to battle each other in the springtime. So obviously this is where the winds come. And we had, not only that, we had incredibly what we call a deep low pressure system come through yesterday. I mean, almost record low barometer readings, and
almost like a hurricane, right?
Yes,
That's what
very
I
much
saw
so.
from
Very much
Millibar's
so.
perspective.
Yes, very much, and that's why you had almost hurricane-like winds with it as well in some places further to the north. But if you noticed yesterday morning, about 6 or 7 a.m., how calm it was. That's because the eye of the hurricane went right over us.
I have a hurricane in the middle of the Midwest. How about
Exactly. And then all of a sudden that wind came back around the backside and woof, just really got kicking. And, I was talking, just like I said, better, more snow to the south, but, that's okay. I think a lot of people are done with the snow.
I would say everybody.
I think everyone's done with the snow.
In March, yes.
So on that note, looking into this weekend, we're gonna clear out a little bit today for a brief moment, and then clouds will start coming in later on in the afternoon, and then see another chance of rain come in tomorrow. But it should be a one-day event, and then the weekend is looking pretty nice so far. We'll be in the 50s on Saturday, maybe 60s on Sunday. And then we see possibly 70s for Monday and Tuesday next week. So a little nice warming trend, get everyone out of the house and doing stuff. But we look at the middle of next week, we see the next storm system start to move into the area. Could be pretty potent, depending on where you are in the United States, anywhere from just like it was the other day, from the Gulf all the way up to here. You could have any type of weather. But then we see another storm on Friday, which I think is going to be the one we really need to watch out for because it will a little bit further north. And definitely will have the potential to affect us more. So it is a storm season again in the Midwest. We see our biggest storms sometimes in March, so it's not unusual to see this. And then you'll have a little brief respite in April. And then May comes back around again. So Yeah, so we got some things to look for next week, but again, we got a couple of nice few days coming this weekend to enjoy.
So you mentioned a pattern of sunshine for a few days and then back down. A pattern for up in the 60s, maybe 70 for a few days, and then back down. You kind of seeing that?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to see the colds as I think we're having. We will obviously see. We're not done with the freezing temperatures yet, but we're definitely going to see more moderating where we're. Instead of average lows in the 20s and 30s, maybe 30s and 40s.
Okay.
So we'll start to slowly warm because what happens this weekend?
We lose an hour of sleep.
We lose an hour of sleep. Very good. But to everyone who wants it, they get their sunlight back in the afternoon.
That's true.
And that just means we have to work later in the day rather than going. You can do all your work in the morning. Anyway, daylight savings time does begin at 2 o'clock on Sunday morning. So for those of you who go to church, you'll have to wake up an hour earlier and be all nice and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed on that first sermon in the morning. So. That's why our church has 2 services, because everyone will be at that second service because they will have slept in and say, oh yeah, it is. Yeah. So we got that. Now, does that affect the weather? Absolutely not. You have to just remember that the sun is the same thing as it was the
billions
day before.
of years ago. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily change.
Just because that hour of daylight, is 1 hour later, does not mean that we get that much more heating. So all it is the storms would come an hour later in the day. So some people say, oh, we get another hour of heating because of the. No, that's not the way it goes, folks. But
but we do gradually get more sunlight after the equinox, right? So
Absolutely,
you gradually get more.
We are. That's true as well. We are getting more sunlight. We'll get more sunlight on the beginning of the day and of course at the end as well. So. So there's a little more heating, but it's not like
time shifted.
Time shift is not going to change things that much. So, but obviously, fortunately, we had, I don't know if you had power outage yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And affected more than 1,000 customers, I think, in the Quincy area. And back at 48th Street, where Farm and Home Supply is, we're out with the power for probably about 10 minutes or so before the generators kicked on. So.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So Ameren was the one, unfortunately, got kicked with that one. I won't plug who I represent here, but it was sporadic because there was some. It was through the county as well. So if you were smart, you didn't reset your clocks on your devices.
You left it blinking.
Left it blinking for a few days, and then when the time change comes, then I'll just change it once and for all. So
speaking of that, what's the last clock that you change? Is it your car's? I found this really interesting of people's behaviors is it a microwave, is it the oven, is it the car? Is the last one that you get to changing, which one is it?
Well, the car is automatic because it's linked to GPS.
Okay, so you have one of the new fancy cars. You don't have to manually press the buttons.
15-year-old is fancy. Okay,
it is.
All right, I appreciate that. So yeah, so the cars, that used to be the toughest one, how to figure that one, but it's automatic. Cell phones are obviously automatic. There is a clock in my bathroom that never changes. The wall clocks that are 20, 30 pounds, they don't change. Well, the only one that I do change is the one that chimes every hour, and you kind of want to have it
correct whenever you look at it.
Yeah. So the microwave never gets changed, or it just when the power went off the last time, it just stayed there.
Yeah.
The stove, we'll get to it eventually. So probably the stove is the last.
So what we've learned is Brent is a very lazy clock changer, and he just lets it run.
No,
or maybe he's a lobbyist for not changing it, right? Getting rid of daylight savings time. You're a lobbyist for daylight savings time.
I do prefer that we continue this cycle because I don't like no light at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And
just keep it consistent.
Keep what we're doing, not the one time whenever, because it just doesn't work. But no, the watch, obviously the phone, so that's all I need. This only, I'm always
live your life by.
Yeah, and the Kramer clock, it's always accurate.
You always know the time in your head, huh?
I always know the time.
You got it.
Welcome back. Now's when we talk about our weekend programming coming up. Ron Kincherf has a chat with Bud's Auto Shop, the folks from across the river. And we also have a little fun with Club Muddy this week.
Yeah, she's a second-time guest, one of our favorite people, Miss Kelsey Sprinkle. She was recently married and she had the name Kelsey Struther, so some of you might know her as that. She's a local tattoo artist at one of our sponsors, the Ram's Horn Body Art Studio. It's where I go to get most of my tats. And it's where Bob's going to go get his first.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Never. Not going to do it. No, not going to do it. Sorry. It's not my thing. It's fine with you and whoever, but no, not me. I mean, my daughter Michelle has them. It's fine. Yeah.
She has seen so many things and has so many stories. Obviously, she's very professional and would never use names in this. So it's going to be very entertaining, I think, to hear, like, from a tattoo artist's perspective, things like, what are the trends lately? What is the worst that you've ever had to do? Have you ever wanted to speak up on something and say, hey, maybe not? So, we're going to have those tattoo questions for her, and she's going to dip in a little bit about some topics outside of the tattoo world.
All right, so anyway, we got that coming up, and also don't forget to take a look at, if you haven't watched the interview I did with Daryl Hentz, we broke it up a little bit, but you can also watch the full interview on muddyriver.tv. Also, we have our another installment of Frankie and the Clits that has popped up. You had a chance to watch it yet?
I have not, but I know the subject matter is, what was it, boys with their toys?
It's just like how we still like play video games when we're in our 40s and 50s and stuff like that.
Do you still play video games?
I play what is called a strategic sports simulation game called Stratomatic.
Oh, so that's why that floats through our Facebook feed
yes,
sometimes.
That is correct, yes. So, and I've been playing that since I was 10 years old. So, yes, that's like my one game that I still do. So,
speaking of games, now we have sports with Matt Shuckman with the latest on the Lady Raiders and the Devils.
Well, happy Friday morning, Muddy Buddies. Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman here. As we head into another exciting basketball weekend, one of the last basketball weekends we could have this season. So we'll have people out and about making sure we get you coverage of all the postseason action. That began Thursday night this week with the Quincy Notre Dame girls basketball team playing in the Class 3A state semifinals. The Raiders lost 50-41 to Lombard Montini. So the Raiders, who are 32-4 now, will play in the third place game at 7:45 Friday night against Washington. Should be quite a battle there, but it's the Raiders' third state tournament appearance in the last 4 years. They're bringing home another trophy. Just amazed by all the success they continue to have, and they fought tooth and nail on Thursday night. Just ran into a really good Montini team that was able to gain a little bit of separation in the fourth quarter and keep Quincy Notre Dame at bay. So again, the Raiders will play for third place on Friday night against Washington. That will be at around 7:45 at CEFQ Arena on the Illinois State University campus. Meanwhile, we have two teams still holding out championship aspirations that will play Friday night. The Quincy High School boys basketball team will take on Normal Community in the Class 4A Collinsville sectional championship game. That'll be played at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium. And it's a rematch of last year's sectional title game where Normal Community upended Quincy 44-43. So the Blue Devils have talked about this. There's a little bit of chip on their shoulder. They want some retribution. They want to bring the sectional title back to Quincy. So a lot to play for there. If they win, they would play Monday in the Super Sectional. That will be played in Normal, Illinois, at CEFQ Arena, where the girls are playing the state tournament this weekend, formerly known as Redbird Arena. And so that will be Monday. If the Blue Devils win, they advance to Monday. Meanwhile, on the Missouri side of the river, we have one team still alive. The Canton boys are playing in the Class 2 quarterfinals on Friday night, taking on Harrisburg. That game will be in Canton. I believe 7 o'clock start. So if you're around and want to go see some good basketball, check out Quincy University commit Preston Brewer and the Tigers as they try to fight their way to Mizzou Arena and a Final Four berth in Class 2. So we will have complete coverage of that game as well as the Quincy High game in Collinsville and the Notre Dame game at Redbird Arena in the state's tournament. And the Quincy University women at the GLVC tournament. They played their quarterfinal matchup on Friday night against Missouri S&T. And speaking of the Quincy University women, check out our website, muddyriversports.com. We have a story up this morning about Taya Stevenson, senior guard, whose heart literally stopped last May. She had an episode where she was dealing with some health issues, and her heart stopped and she had to be resuscitated. As she said, she woke up and the shock pads were still on her chest. So crazy how things happen. But she's averaged 16 minutes a game and been a vital part of of this team this season, as the Hawks have had a complete turnaround, won 22 games overall, won 15 games in a row, and have had quite a year. So we're at the tail end of the basketball season, but a lot of big games still going on, a lot of stories to write, a lot of stories to tell with these teams. So make sure you check out muddyriversports.com for complete coverage of all these games and all our area teams. Then we'll be getting to spring sports here soon enough. But it's a championship weekend on a lot of fronts on the basketball scene. So make sure you check us all out and have a great weekend.
Muddy River Engraving has been fantastic to work with, especially when I need something last minute, quickly. Andrew has just been fantastic to get me everything I need in a very quick, effective manner.
We work in a fast-paced industry, so for us, the fact that he personally delivers to it, that's one of the best things, and always comes through ahead of schedule.
What do I love about Muddy River Engraving? I love that Andrew supports the businesses that work with him. We'll see him in here almost every week, and that's nice that, you know, two people are helping each other out, pushing each other's product.
What kind of shows will you see on Muddy River Gems each month? The same award-winning storytelling from Mark McDonald and crew that you enjoyed for nearly 20 years on PBS. Muddy River Gems with host Mark McDonald. A new episode every month online from Muddy River News. Since 1985, Hess Auto Agency has been your trusted source for pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area. Families have experienced the Hess difference for generations and know they'll get the best vehicle buying experience in our region. With an ever-changing inventory, you'll find the right car at the right price. So when you want the best, don't guess. Choose Hess. Hess Auto Agency, 1124 North 24th in Quincy.
Brittany, if people want to know what's going on this weekend, where can they go?
Well, they can go to our website, Bob, and under the See Quincy calendar, you can find all the events happening. You can also submit your events there as well.
And we want to thank Holly Kane and the gang for See Quincy for sponsoring that on our website. It's on their page, but we embed it on our site, and it's really a great thing. So this is our first show with Brittany and myself. You survived?
I did.
You okay?
Yeah.
Coming back next week?
I think I'll be here.
Okay. Yeah, the negotiations window's closed. You're locked in.
My contract is signed.
Locked in blood, signed in blood. So anyway, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.